All right, welcome everybody to the Cultivate Your Life podcast, where we are digging into the soil of personal growth and thought provoking conversations. Every week, we will explore conversations that may nurture your passion, cultivate resilience, and blossom insights on a variety of topics. So, first, I want to say thank you to everybody who is listening and to my two special guests on the first episode. We have Jonathan here and we have Whitney. How you guys doing tonight?
Pretty good. Excited to be in this
Oh,
first episode.
yes, very excited.
Okay, Whitney, where are you joining us from?
Midland, Texas. Woo!
Why you say it like that? How was you guys' week so far? It's Thirsty Thursday. Cheers to whatever you're
Cheers.
drinking.
Oh, it is Thursday, isn't it? Mountain Dew.
Yeah, it's been Thursday all day. All right, so you guys ready to jump right into this topic?
Born ready.
Okay. All right. All right. So tonight's topic, what we're going to talk about is what are the unwritten rules of dating today? How does traditional versus modern norms shape it? So we know dating can be exciting yet a complex journey. In this discussion, we'll explore key unwritten rules of dating, such as the importance of honesty, the significance of body language, and nuances of timing in conversations. May this conversation enhance your dating experience? I don't know if it will. It may not. We are just as confused as you are. So when I think about this topic for me, I feel like unwritten rules are basically what you see for yourself in dating. And everybody's unwritten rules changes in the time you are in your life, and it also changes in who you're interested in at that time. For me, I'm really big on honesty and communication. I think if you can be honest about what you want, that's a basic, great foundation to step on, because then you're not hiding stuff. And I know dating in this day and age, everybody wants to put on like a facade, and that's not who they are, and that's not really what they want. And then people don't know how to communicate. People don't know how to talk about problems or discuss hard topics. So those are two important unwritten rules for me. Now, when I look back and say how the traditional and the modern norms shape that, that's completely different. Because traditionally, I grew up where traditionally a man was the head of the household. He was the provider. The lady stayed at home, raised the kids, took care of the house. But at the same time, I feel I don't want as much of a traditional role, because me staying in the house, just cleaning up your house and raising your children all day, I'm not doing that. As a career woman, I just can't come to do that piece. So that's where that modern comes in. But I still do believe in a traditional role of a man, that he is the head of the household. He is the provider. He is the protector. So those are three key aspects of a traditional norm that I would forever always hold on to, because I do want a strong man. I'm not so much of an alpha female that I can't follow behind an alpha male.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think? I want to hear some of your inputs. Let's not all speak at one time. I did serious. Don't speak at one time.
Well, I can say something. I think you did kind of you skimmed over, of course, the important things. When I think about dating now, I do start. It's the communication at the beginning, what that looks like. I feel like when you're first dating somebody, they never show you their true self. They show you their representative. So if your representative sucks, then I can only imagine what the real you is going to be like. So if you're trying to sell yourself to me and the goods aren't where it's at, if you're trying to give me the best version of yourself, but your communication's lacking or your body language is off, then of course, why would I want to pursue anything with you? When it comes to unspoken rules of dating, I think definitely hygiene is something big. Like, honestly, it's like the your senses. Like if I look at you and I don't like what I see, if I smell you and I don't like what I smell, it's those things that it's just like, okay, well, I don't I don't want to see you again. I don't want to smell you again. I don't want to talk to you again. And so I do think it's those basic things. And so I know there's parts of dating that have changed as time evolves. Dating has changed because once upon a time, online dating was this this thing that
Taboo.
there was so much judgment associated with it, and it was
Right.
dangerous, and you must be desperate. And now, oh my goodness, that's the only way you can meet people. So I mean, that's my introduction, I
Okay.
guess I should say, to the topic.
So speaking about traditional and modern or versus modern, like you, I grew up in a Caribbean family, and for me, traditional in a dating aspect is I picture the especially for you guys as women, you expect the man to pull out the chair when you're going on a date with him. You expect him to open the door for you.
But is that like a norm, or is that just a preference or chivalry? Is chivalry, when you say that, is that a part of like dating? Like that's a must.
I see that's a traditional type of date.
Okay.
Uh, because back in the
My
day,
dad taught me that the man has to open doors. He has to pull out chairs. And
So
if
he
he's not
has
doing
to.
that, yes, my dad instilled that in me and my sister. And if the man doesn't do that, it's like a switch to me. I've gone on multiple dates. And if a guy doesn't reach for the door first, I'm like, okay, strike one.
that
I get to the
tradition.
table, he don't pull out the chair, strike two.
All the
Like
time
I
a guy must do
honestly,
that. I just feel like, I
So, but
mean,
that's the traditional piece of it, right?
okay,
That's back in the day. That's the tradition. That's how you court a woman,
okay.
right? You're showing them that you're willing to take care of her. Those are kind of the indications. That might, and like for Whitney said, that's red flags for her, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
that tells her like the type of man that he might be at the end. Then now, but modern is different, right? Because now you have all these dating apps, and it's dating is different because we can have chemistry on the app, but then once we meet in person, the traditional kicks in because then now you're trying to figure out who this person is. How does that person treat the waiter, the server, the hostess?
So you're saying that traditional norms and modern norms go hand in hand. It just depends on the settings.
But in my case, it's a little bit different because I'm part of the LGBTQ community.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Two men who are going on a date, there's some traditional piece that I think about it, but I have to push it aside.
So am I opening the door for you and pulling out your chair?
Yeah, exactly. Right? So I have to push that aside. So, but for me, it's if I'm inviting you, if I'm taking you out to dinner, in my head, the traditional piece kicks in, and it's like, since I was the one who invited you to dinner, I should be the one paying for the dinner. But most of the times, and I don't know if it is applicable for everybody, the bill is usually split between two men, or one of them decides who's gonna pay, and then if there's a second date, the second person then pays.
If I go on a first date, I'm not paying the bill. And I ain't splitting it either.
But I can see that
it
as a woman.
depends on how the date goes for me. If the date goes bad, I pay so I don't have to see you again. So there's no,
Yeah, I
let's
definitely
have
pay
another
because you waste
date.
my time. You
No,
just wasted my
I don't want
time.
no.
No. No.
Mm-mm.
No.
But okay, so another thing too is, and something that I've seen viral is you have to take your date into this uh, huge dates. Spend $400, $500 on dinner. Like you can't take the person to Cheesecake Factory. What about if you don't know what that person makes. I get it. As a woman, you want someone to be willing to take care of you, but what about if you miss the mark? What about if that's the guy that
True.
you're gonna get, right?
Right.
And he's gonna be your soulmate,
Right.
but he doesn't make 300,000 dollars a year.
I get you, but if I'm going out on a first date, don't take me to a restaurant that you have to pay $400 and $500. Cause then I feel then you're putting on, you're kind of showing me like you have money, and that's not what I'm here for. Like I don't need you for any of that. So if a guy takes me on a date, for me personally, and that's what you're doing, and it just seems more of you putting on a show, I'm not going back out on a date with you, regardless if you spend $400, because I feel like at that point then it's not genuine. You're trying to spend the money so that you get the cookie at the end of the night, and that doesn't work.
Yeah.
So I would rather you, yes, I mean, I don't like the food at Cheesecake Factories. I'm just gonna say that I don't like their food. I love their cheesecake, so take me to Cheesecake Factory and buy me a cheesecake. I'm all for that.
But that's fair.
I'm all for that. That to me, I feel is more of a genuine date, and we can build from there. But don't take me to a fancy restaurant on the first date, knowing you can't maintain this, because then now you're putting on a facade, and I don't want that.
I missed that trend. I didn't hear about that trend about going to $400 restaurants. But
Well,
yeah,
you missed that trend.
I'm not
Yeah.
grabbing the bill no matter how bad the date goes at a $400 restaurant. You're
Oh,
gonna
so
have to
that's
get
what I
that
was going
on
to
the
ask you. You said if the date is bad, you're going to pay for the bill so you don't have to see them again. So I was going to ask you, if he took you to a restaurant that's $400, the date sucked, you picking up that bill?
No. And that's
Oh,
happened
oh,
before.
see? So no, you're picking up the
I've gone
bill.
to an expensive restaurant and he was a jerk, and I was like, oh, I do not want to see you again, but I also am not covering this tab. So I mean, that was a lose-lose for him. But I've gone to other places multiple times, and I'm like, no, let me cover this. Oh yeah. I'll cover this, and then I just they don't hear from me again. So um, yeah, no, not I'm not signing up for the $400 trend.
I've
No,
done that.
thank you.
If I don't like the guy, I'll pay for the dinner. Thank you for your time. This is not
Mm-hmm.
gonna work.
So you guys are only saying if you don't like the date, you're paying for the bill. What if you like the bill? Are you still going to pay? If you like the date, are you still going to pay for the bill?
I'd be willing to pay.
No, because you're gonna see me again, and I'll have the opportunity to pay for it at some point in time. So no.
But what if you like the date and he doesn't like the date? So now in
That's
your
on him.
mind, you're thinking, oh, I'm going to see him again. And you never get the opportunity to see him again because he didn't like the date. What then?
But that's the risk of dating.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
true.
You're not $100 bill for everybody to like you.
So you're basically saying traditional norms do filter into modern norms.
I would say with our generation.
Okay, so what if you're dating now outside your generation? How does those norms factor in? Because you date people who are older than you, and you also date people who are younger than you. How does those norms? How do you navigate that scene? Because dating somebody who is like in their, I would say, late 20s, mid or not even mid 30s, late 20s, early 30s, they might be in different spots in their lives. Or another thing is they may grow up differently. Some people don't grow up like how Whitney grew up, and her dad like taught her if a guy's not opening the doors or pulling out the chairs. There's some people who grew up that their dad didn't do that, or didn't teach them how to do that. So how does that factor in? Like, are you just gonna be like, oh, well, he pulled out my chair or he opened my door, I can't go back on a date with him?
You have to adapt. So perhaps he might not be able to do that, but you get to know the person at the dinner table. And then you start figuring out, oh, perhaps this is why he didn't pull the chair.
But when it first happened, when he first come and pick you up and he don't open the door, no, you already on your in your head the red flag don't go off. Oh, he didn't open my door. This date gonna suck. I ain't never going back on this date with him. I'm just going for the meal. So you
I've
see
mentioned it before.
How it, like,
I've-
you know.
Well, I've mentioned it before, and that's where the cues kick in. So I've mentioned it. I mentioned it, and you did not respond accordingly. Then I'm like, all right, cool, it's done. But I've also mentioned it, and guys are like, the next time we hang out, car doors are being opened, restaurant doors are being opened, all the chairs are being pulled out. So it's like, okay, but
Now, what do they
there's, I mean,
say
it's gone
when you
both
tell them?
ways. They just, oh, okay, that's what you like. Yes, this is what I like.
Okay.
Okay, so you let it be known before you go on a date what your expectations are.
No, not before, but like I allow them to show me their their what's the word? It's gone. That's my brain these days. Um their
Their
and I'm
authentic
not gonna
self.
try
You
it.
want them to just be authentic. And then you go
Well,
in and kind of fix
I
them.
let them show me their patterns of behavior.
Okay.
So you're showing me that, when you see a woman, you don't open doors, you don't pull out chairs. Okay, I'm letting you know that this woman likes and expects doors to be open and chairs to be pulled out.
Well,
And
but
then after
it
that,
kind of sounds like you're going on a date, and in the back of your mind, you give them a clean slate, which is fine. But then you're just like, okay, well, he did this wrong, he did this wrong, he did this wrong, he did this wrong, and we're gonna address it at the end of the night. That's what it sounds like. Because if I'm a guy, that's
so
how I would take it.
um I mean, I address it, and it's not. I don't say anything in a manner that is disrespectful. But I also only mention it to people that, or guys that I want to have another date with. Like, hey, so you know, my daddy taught me that a man, if he's a gentleman, he pulls out my chair, and they're like, oh, I want to be a gentleman in her daddy's eyes, so I'm gonna pull out her chair. Now, if I don't want to see you again, I'm not mentioning to you what my daddy taught me. I'm gonna eat my meal, I'm gonna pay the bill, and then we'll be done.
Okay, I mean, I think I get it to a. I get what you're
I'm
saying to
not
a
trying
certain
to I'm not
extent.
trying to change anybody. I'm not trying to get you
Right.
to conform to my expectations of a gentleman, but it's also showing me if you're attentive, if you actually listen, and it's a little, honestly, I promise you, for me, and I can't speak for everything, it is the little things. I don't need these huge gestures.
Right.
I don't need huge gestures. I don't need this lavish restaurant or I don't need all that. It's just the small things. I'm telling you that I prefer for you to open the door for me. If that doesn't register, if that doesn't seem like something important, like, okay. And honestly, I've learned through the years of dating, and being a sister to two brothers, that subtlety on men get lost. Sorry, not sorry, because it's the truth. Subtlety gets lost. You got to say what you want, and you got to mean what you say. Because if you're expecting them to read between the lines and try and guess what you want, you ain't never gonna be satisfied. Never be satisfied.
True that.
So you have to be like, okay, this is what I want, and that's with everything,
Right.
everything, anything, everything. We won't go into details because it's your first episode, but
But yeah, I get what you're saying. But why not have these conversations before the first date? But then I think it goes back to where you meet them at. So if you meet somebody
yes.
on the dating app, it's really hard to
Hmm.
get that deep into the conversation. But if you meet somebody face to face, I feel,
Organically.
yeah, and it's more organically. These are conversations that you guys could initially have before that initial date. So those things that I told you, like, okay, I like my chair being pulled out, I like my doors being open, X, Y, and Z, or whatever it is, that when you go out on the first date, you already told him. And if he doesn't do it, do you just walk away? Because sometimes it takes people a couple of times before stuff sticks, especially when they're not used to doing it. So where do you go after that? Because you already like him, because you have some type of interest to go out on a first date with that person. Do you
Well,
say,
usually, so say the first date's a restaurant. I usually don't talk about like the behavioral things. Like I don't talk about I don't like when people chew with their mouths open. I don't like because I don't want somebody to think I'm neurotic.
all right,
So I don't go into all those little things about behavior. I just, what type of food do you like to eat? What type of drinks do you like to drink? Do you drink alcohol, non-alcohol? Do you have any food allergies? Or stuff like that. If you're going to go out to eat, I don't go into all the other things. And then it's like, okay, if I see those are things that they exhibit, then I'm like, all right, I don't like that.
okay,
And so again, if it's somebody that I would like to get to know better, let me let you know now the things I've noticed that that may not work. And if it's a deal breaker for him, then okay. We didn't invest that much time because I've told you it may not. I mean, I feel like it's still upfront. This is our first outing together, so per my definition, and how everybody's outlook on it is different, but it's still early on where I don't necessarily feel like too much time's vested. We went on a first date, and I said, "Hey, you know what? I don't. I'm not a huge fan of when people chew with their mouth open." And they're like, "You know what? I'm a mouth breather, so this is how I chew." I'm like, "Okay, well that's cool. You can continue to be a mouth breather and not eat meals with me." And then we go our separate ways.
See, that's what I miss about back in the day. I'm not that old, but back then it was more organic. In my case, we had specific venues to hang out, right? Because in public, I'm not gonna go to every man because I don't know who
right,
is or who isn't. But at the venue, you know that everyone is, and so sometimes you'll know people, and there might be someone you like in that group. There might be someone you already know, so you approach the group, or they approach you,
mm,
and you meet, and then you start talking to each other. You start changing phone numbers, and then you start getting to go out. Hey, let's go here, let's go there. I miss that. Now with this modern time, everything is on dating apps. You have to keep the conversations short because you don't want to ask every question
all right.
until you get to date night
But you
because
have
you
to
want to
keep it
have some type of
short and yet still
conversation.
engaging to keep the conversation going.
Yeah.
Because on dating apps, I feel like, well, just I think in just social media, anything, people's attention span is so short. So it's like, oh, you meet today. Some of them, oh, can we go tonight? Like, I just met you this morning. But there's some people that like that, so you would rather just go out. And I agree with you. Meeting somebody somewhere authentically, I feel there's a, well, I can't even say a better chance of the person wanting something or not just there for a hookup. Because regardless, you can meet somebody authentically somewhere and that's all they want is a hookup.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm not knocking if that's all you want. But be upfront if that's what you want. And
And that's another one. Communication.
right.
And they will tell you these things and do the opposite. That they want these things and do the opposite. Or you'll be talking to this person for at least for a week. I want to say social media has been a curse and a blessing
Mm-hmm.
because yes, you get to talk to people, but perhaps this other person, they might find that other person more attractive. The grass is greener on the other end,
Not all the time, but yeah,
so they'll go over there, and then you get pushed
to the side,
to
right?
the side.
Right. And I feel like sometimes too when you meet people and you tell them what you're looking for, like you're like, oh, what are you looking for in somebody? What are you looking for in a partner? I feel that's kind of a setup too, because when I meet guys, I don't tell them what I want. I don't tell them the kind of guy I want. I don't tell them none of that because you're not about to go and put on what I want for a couple months, and then later on you show your true color and you will just put on
They're
a
gonna
facade
make
to
that
me.
their representative. This is what she
The
wants, so I'm
Yep.
gonna give her what she wants.
Right, you're right.
You
So
mentioned that,
I
Whitney.
I purposely do not tell
Mhm.
guys the type of guy I want. What am I looking for? I don't tell you.
Okay.
Figure
So
it
you're
out.
opening up that door. So what do you say when somebody says, "What type of guy are you looking for?" What's your answer?
Be yourself. Be yourself. Be yourself. Show me who you are, and then we're gonna go from there. I do not
But
tell
what do
them.
you tell them what you want?
Well, it depends on where I'm at. So like they say, it all depends. So like if I'm in a club, do not come and ask me in a club, oh, what you looking for? But I'm not looking for a boyfriend or a husband in a club. But yeah, you'll be surprised what they come and ask you. So it just depends on where you're at that you meeting these guys. Cause like I said, I'm not looking for my husband in a club. So I think it's just depends on the setting, and it depends on what you're looking for and where you're looking for it at. And that's just, I think that's what it
Do you
is.
think that changes the quality and the type of partner you get, though? I mean,
Like
like I
location
said,
wise,
and like I
like where you
said,
meet them.
yeah, like I said before, I feel like
Mm,
online
yeah.
dating, it's changed in its acceptability, and so there's people that I know quite a few people that have met
Right.
their
Online?
spouses
Mhm.
online.
Yes.
But once upon a time, people lied about that. Well, no, we met at the grocery store. Oh, for
Well, they
real?
met online.
Which grocery store? Exactly. And so, but again, I mean, to a point that Lisa had made in regards to the the intent of people being different in person, meeting them out while you're out and about versus meeting them online. And I mean, there's people that I met, in public or out at the gym, and it's just like, oh, we cultivated a relationship. I just happened to see that man with his whole wife and kids. I was like,
Yes, yeah. I
I
mean,
was
at
like,
the
well,
but the
thank goodness that
gym.
didn't go. Thank goodness that didn't go anywhere else. But I was just like, oh, you got a family.
Yeah, but when I
So
said depends on places, like I'm okay meeting somebody in the grocery store or at the gym or in a coffee shop, but definitely for sure in a club. I am not looking for my husband in the club. I'm not
mm-mm.
looking for my
I'm
husband at the
looking
bar.
for some free drinks in the club. You can buy me something to drink and then leave me alone.
I'm not looking for my husband in the club. That's just it. But what about if an unwritten rule for somebody is no
Do
dinner
you
dates?
remember that time I got
Huh?
that guy to get us some drinks? And you
Girl,
tried to pull me away from him,
girl,
and he was just,
girl,
I was gonna get y'all
why
drinks.
are you bringing this up?
Oh, sorry. My
Remember,
bad.
it's the first episode. I ain't trying to put all my business out there like that, okay? But what about this unwritten rules? No dinner date as a first date. If you meet a guy and you're like, oh, let's go on a date, and he's like, okay, that's cool, but I don't do dinner dates as first dates.
It's modern times. You have to adapt.
I think it's actually pretty good.
I like that.
I actually like that. But I would ask him, what would be the first date? Because I remember this guy asked me out and he wanted to go to the movies. That's stupid.
Well, I don't think it's stupid. I think it's childish.
On a first date, you take me to a movie. We can't talk in a movie, so but you like no.
I leave that back when, like, you're in college, in high school. We did dates on
like when your
movies.
mother drop you off at Sunny Hills to go to the movies. So yeah,
Caribbean cinemas.
right. So I mean I think it's okay with a dinner date not being a first date. Like if you want to go, let's say, let's go on a hike, or let's go and grab some coffee, or let's go to a
A picnic to the
museum
park.
or a picnic. Things of that aspect, I think is okay on a first date.
Even to the gym.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
had a
Like
gym
I said,
date.
yeah, gym dates are great. What are your thoughts, Whitney, on a dinner date? No dinner dates for the first date.
What'd you say?
No dinner dates for the first date.
That Mountain Dew is doing
I
Whitney
mean,
effect.
if we had that much of a connection and start talking about where our first date's going to be, I'll take that. I will take that consideration or that preference into consideration. And then we just, we agree on something.
What if you don't have that
Is that my?
communication? What if you don't have that
Hmm?
communication? Enough time to communicate that's his preference or whatnot. And he said, okay, let me take you out on a first date. And he doesn't tell you that it's not a dinner date. But he said, I'm going to take you on a first date. He tells you where to come. He plans this and you show up. And they ain't got no food there for you. What you going to do?
Oh no, I'm Googling everywhere. I'm
Oh
Googling,
gosh.
I'm dropping a pen, I'm driving past, I'm looking it up, so I'm gonna find out
Okay, so if you
before I
find
get
out that
there.
it's not at a restaurant, it's like he says it's to a museum. Let's say that.
Cool, cool, fine, cool. I'll show up, and before the date starts, I'd be like, so is there food here?
Oh my gosh.
Okay, no, 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 there's no food here. Okay, are we getting food after? Um, at that point, it's like 1.5 date. It's not date one, it's not date two, it's date 1.5. So you can feed me on that date. And so,
So what if he says,
yes.
you ask him if there's food after, and he's like, "Oh, we'll see. I don't know. I got something to do after. But we'll see. What are you gonna do? You not staying for your museum date?"
I'll stay, but there will be judgment.
See, goes back to my original question I asked you. You when a guy doesn't pull out his chairs, your chair or open the door, and you don't say anything, you judging this dude.
Oh, did I say I wasn't?
Oh.
Oh no, no, that's just
My bad. Because it made it seem like you was not, but you are judging him.
no. Oh no, no, no.
Oh, so
no,
you
no, no.
judging? You judging by okay, okay, okay. So Whitney, you got pull out her chairs, open all her doors, and feed her.
And there's gotta be food.
And it gotta be food. If not, it's a no. It's a no deal.
He's out.
He's out.
But again, I don't think those are big things.
They're not really big things, but they're big things to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I don't care for
They're
one time
important
a
to
guy
me,
doesn't
but-
pull out my chair.
I'll give y'all a different perspective. I think Whitney's definitely way more traditional because there's actually a thing that. So when you do dinner date, it can easily turn into like an interview type of setting to where like
Agreed.
it's just awkward. So when you're doing that activity, it's like it gives y'all more to talk about. Y'all moving around, and then it's like if it's a new experience that both of y'all like, if it's a new experience that both of y'all like trying for the first time, y'all will be in the y'all reaction will probably be y'all be in like similar states, so it'd be easier to find a connection.
True.
That's true.
So that's actually a thing I've like heard before. So that's where I got that. Oh yeah, don't go on dinner date. And then the time
That's a
where
good aspect.
the time where I didn't do a dinner date for the first time, I felt like it went better.
It wouldn't matter.
And then also with the food thing, I'm like, whatever. I don't want to spend too long in the first date because you want to leave them wanting more. Also, I look
So
at
when
it.
you say you don't want to spend too long on the first date, you put in your first date on a timer?
Yes,
So what's the time? What's the time limit?
like an hour and a half.
I actually like that
Hour and a
idea.
half?
Because if you show them too much, it's like you can easily kill it. But like if you leave. Well, this is from a guy perspective. This is simply for.
So you
this
basically
woman.
leaving them wanting more.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you're leaving them
Mhm.
wanting more. So yeah, so that's also the thing, but
Modern dating.
I think
It is modern
That is
dating.
modern dating.
This
That
is
is
more
modern
modern
dating.
dating because back in the, I think
If
traditional
there's a
way more like
connection, I could
dinner
spend
date
10
and,
hours
like,
with you and still
on-
want
on-
more.
But when it comes to taking into consideration with activities, like for me, I would take into consideration like what the girl's like interested in because like if you're not interested in art or whatnot, I'm not saying let's go to a museum.
So, would you bring up the ideas or would you want to take her out to a date and let her choose?
I'll choose because I think that's a bad sign. If I give a girl for the first date, if I give her a whole bunch of options, I think that's bad. I feel like she'll look at me as I'm indecisive and I can't take lead. I'm planning. So I'll definitely be like, hey, we're doing this time, be there, whatnot.
Yeah, I agree with
And then
that.
as
Because I
for-
wouldn't want a guy to give me a list and say, "Oh, choose this for first date." No, because I want you to take the initiative, pick the place,
Yeah.
and lead the date.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then as for like the pulling out the like chair thing, guys know that like because if you do that for a girl, you easily get in so much point because guys don't really do that too much. But if you do that constantly, it becomes an expectation when you get to know them later on, to where it's like y'all just hanging out and it's not a date. You're just supposed to go like say you're supposed to just go to
To
the
a store, right?
open my door when it's like, oh no, it's like I kind of feel like that more if I want a date.
Pause.
Yeah, I'll do all
Pause.
those like sugary
Pause.
stuff. But
Hey,
like,
You're
here-
my
Here
man.
comes
Every-
Wit. Here comes
You're
Wit.
my
Here comes
man.
Wit. Here comes
But
Wit.
you're opening my door every time. You're pulling out my seat every time. You're not doing that because it's a date. You do that because you respect me as your woman. That is why you were doing that.
Yeah, I think that's more modern dating versus traditional.
So
Like I
modern
said,
dating-
she's
She's
more
very traditional.
traditional. But that's one of the reasons why those, because like you build that, if you could, first date you're trying to do the best you're trying to show a good impression, right? So
Right.
you really ideally you should do like all the extra stuff. But if you're really not all but all that extra stuff is like you set this unrealistic expectation. Because the minute moment you stop
You're
doing
already
it, it will.
letting me know you send your representative because you're like all this extra stuff. It's not extra. It's what needs to be done. So you already telling me by what you're saying that your representative is who people see first. That's what I'm hearing. Is that what you're saying to us?
Representative, like what you mean? Like I mean, like
All the
obviously, like
all
you're
the
going into
extra
a
stuff.
store, I'll hold the door open for you every time. I mean, I'll do
Right.
I
Yeah,
do that,
that's
I do that for
regardless. Right.
strangers.
Yeah,
but,
that's
like,
just being respectful.
But I'm just saying, like every single thing we do, like constantly, you're just in the car.
So if you
oh.
like, if you drop her off to Kroger's and she going into the store to get something quick, you gotta come out the car and open up her door.
Yeah, because my bill, she'll build our expectation. I'm like, that's not who I am. Some guys are like that, but I know I'm not.
I will be like, where you going? Like, I'm just running into the store. You don't need to come and open my door for me.
Yeah, but it build, if like I say, build
But
that
Whitney
expectation.
says,
But some girls
gotta
want
do
that.
it
I'm like,
every single time. So you are
If
basically
I'm
more of a
getting out of a
modern
car
dater.
by myself, why would I expect you to open the door?
So if he's getting
Why
out
would
the
I
car
expect
with
you
you,
to-
then but they have some females that yeah they guys will open the door, like even if they're not getting out the car, they get out to open their doors.
There are some guys like that.
That does
I
that
don't
for it, and they
expect
have
that.
some women
I
that
need you to
expect
go
that.
find a good parking spot while I go and take care of this. Now, if we get out the car together, there's many times where the guy has come over and opened the door for me, and that's usually because I'm trying to grab my purse or get something in my purse, so I hadn't gotten out the car yet until they can't open the door. But other times, I can do the things for myself, but you showing the initiative that you want to open the door for me, that speaks volumes. Like I said, it's not because you're dating me; it's because I'm your woman, and you want to show me that you respect me. It is a sign of respect to me.
Okay, so every single time. Okay, I should have been
Hmm?
your man. I should have been your man, and I've been dating you. I will watch you sit in that car and not open that door if we just at the grocery store. I'm gonna let you know that now. Okay.
Well, I'm glad that we have never dated.
We wouldn't
I
last.
already know we would have been boxing because I see how you treat men, so I know we would have been boxing.
Don't be saying that. I am very nice. Okay.
Okay, sorry. First
All right. So I did get some insight from a few people that I do want to like read, and we can kind of discuss it. Right? What are you putting out your hand for?
To help you read?
No, you don't need to help me. I can read. You don't need to hurry. All right. So we have this anonymous. This is what they said. They comment on the topic, and I wanted to know their input. I don't want a woman whose goal is to be a housewife. I don't want a traditional relationship. For example, finances. In the world today, it's hard to provide on one income. It's okay to be a stay-at-home mom, but that's not the goal. I also don't want a woman who I have to lead everywhere. If I have to lead you everywhere, why the fuck you in my life? What you bringing to the table?
Oh my.
That was their comment on this topic. What do you guys say to
Touche.
that? Do you agree with it? What do you agree with? Everything?
Every single thing that guy's. I'm gay, but I agree with what he said.
Whitney?
Yeah. I think
Whitney does not agree.
No, she agrees.
Listen to her voice. She don't agree. But I get it. Like, you don't want to meet a girl where the first thing she wants to say is, oh, I want to be a stay-at-home mom. That shouldn't be the goal. And I think what he's trying to say is, yes, in this day and age, he already said he doesn't want a traditional relationship. And a traditional relationship is a woman staying at home. And he doesn't want that. If it comes to that, like, she ends up being a stay-at-home mom because the finances are right and he can provide for her and all of that. So I get that piece. And then when he says he doesn't want a woman that he has to lead everywhere, I understand what he's saying as well too, because you don't want a woman who is relying on you for every single decision, everything. That becomes exhausting. Because now at this point, you're carrying you and her and a whole house. And
You're the breadwinner.
Right, and
And then you have to make the
decisions too. Like she can't make any type of decisions. So I think when he says that he doesn't want a woman that he has to lead everywhere, is she can't take the reins when he falls short, because he at some point will.
Which I get, if you know, she wants to be a stay-at-home mom, and he's a breadwinner, he makes the money. Well, then make the decisions, you know, of we're gonna do this in the house, we're gonna cut the plumber, the electrician, the kids, the shopping, taking care. She leads the house. She's gonna be the leader of the house.
Right.
And him coming home, it's, you know, is what she says. But out financially, he makes his decisions.
I don't know if he was talking about just that aspect. I think it was, like I said, I think it was more of, if you get somebody who you have to lead them everywhere in every single decision, what if something happens to him? He can't rely on her, because behind every strong man is a stronger woman.
Yeah.
And if she can't be that strong man behind him, what is she really, like,
No,
why
but that's
is
what I
she
mean.
there?
She's able to make all those decisions.
But she can't. That's what he's saying, that she doesn't want somebody who can't do that.
No, that's what I'm saying is that he wants someone that will make the decision.
Oh, okay. My bad. I was
No, that he wants someone that make those decisions.
Right.
So imagine coming home, and he also has to call the plumber to fix something in the house because she can't call the plumber.
Right.
Well, also, again, this is how I also interpret, because say like emotionally, right? For example, you always consider that something that a woman is better at than men. So when it comes to being more emotional, you expect a woman to take charge. It would lead you to be more emotionally like available or whatnot.
Well, okay, you're right. You said
Right.
you expect that.
You would expect that, but like if she can't do that, it's more about like, I feel like when leading people somewhere is like you cause them to grow, also as a person,
Right.
So if a woman can't really lead you anywhere, she can lead you to grow as a person.
Mhm.
So I think there's also that aspect to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Right.
I think we're missing the bigger picture of, yes, it does take two incomes to run a household these days. And if I am the only one that's bringing in money for this whole house to run and for both of us to eat, then we might be eating spam and oodles and noodles. But if
Hey, spam is
both
good,
of
okay?
us- look, if both of us are working, then we might actually be able to afford to buy some eggs. So,
Yeah.
Hey, the
I think-
prices went down, allegedly.
Sure.
allegedly.
Allegedly.
Sure.
All right, so our next comment comes from Babyface. And Babyface says that he wants some good communication, fun to be around, spontaneous, the more natural, and self-confidence. And these are a must. And preferably older than him. What are you guys' thoughts? Now, Babyface is roughly in, like, I want to say mid-30s.
I was about to say, what's
Yeah, so when he says older than him,
What his age?
He's mid-30s.
so he wants a cougar.
I let Babyface comment on that, because I ain't got nothing to say about that.
Well, I mean, I can see the experience part because I do like them older.
Maybe I'll go back and ask him, why older? What do you get from an older woman?
There's more experience
Right. Could be emotionally
and more mature,
Mhm.
although not necessarily.
Not necessarily, right.
Because age doesn't really say that you're mature.
Age doesn't come with maturity.
Shoot, he could have mommy issues. I mean, it could be anything.
Exactly.
It could be that.
But usually it's when you have someone older as maturity, they already know what they want, and you're not about to play games.
Right. It could be like he's at that point where he doesn't want to play games and he wants somebody that is older.
Yeah.
But it can also be too, because there are some guys that they say, oh, they want somebody that's older because they're not about to play games. So that's there too.
Could be that he wants a sugar mama.
It could be that too. But we'll let Babyface say what he meant by that. All right, so our next one. I appreciate all the inputs that everybody sent. I couldn't put everybody else in it because some people sent me
Raunchy stuff?
not even raunchy stuff. They sent me essays. Okay. So this one comes from Burke Lover. So Burke Lover wants to say full disclosure. He is a Gen Xer, which he would like to add is the best generation, allegedly. So he gave 6 rules. And I thought they were really good, so I wanted to bring all 6 of them. And he said, but before we jump into them, he would like it to be known that dating is no longer reserved for people who are divorced or young. There is evidence that people of all ages are in a dating scene, despite their age, previous experience, and relationship. All right, so we're gonna tackle these 6 rules one at a time. So the first rule, he says, I'm going to get what I can get before I get played. And then he gives an example. He says entanglement, situationships, ghosts and mofos, Tinder hookups are unfortunately what people being alone tend to put their hopes, faith, and dreams into a relationship and it not working out. These things help develop these rules of getting any benefit out of the relationship before you get taken advantage of, either it be emotionally or financially. What are your thoughts on that?
Wait, but I'm waiting for the 6 rules.
Oh, I broke them one at a
Was
time.
that
This was
just
rule
one rule, or was that? I know. I was like, was that all of them or just one?
No, that was just. Oh, you want me to read all of them? Because I was doing them
I don't
one
know.
at a
That
time.
one,
So the first
know. That
rule
one
is
was so
I'm
long.
going to get what I can get before I get played.
That's a rule.
You're gonna get what you.
Okay. I feel like that's a pessimistic view. Like you're already conceding to defeat. Like why are you already saying I'm gonna get played? Like starting out just saying rule 1 is I'm gonna get played, but I'm gonna play
rule
them.
1 is I'm going to get
Yeah.
what I get before I get played. What I can get before I get played. So basically, you're going.
I'm just thinking Medea here.
Why are you thinking Medea? You know what? I think it's more like if I'm going into this, let me get whatever I want to get before this person play me. So if I'm coming into this like, I don't know.
But you're already setting up your mindset for failure.
Well, we're gonna let Burke Lover come and respond about it because I'm just as confused.
Sure,
Wait.
but you're already setting your mindset for failure.
Am I the only one who realized this guy is hurt?
Oh gosh. All right, the second one. Let's see if I like them first before making it official. And I was really confused where this went. Because he was like, what if they can't? Or their parents suck? Why commit if there are so many unknowns? Take your time. They might do something to piss you off. Or they have an ache that you can't get over. Let's not rush to conclusion because of what it may look like on the outside.
Okay, do we need to
I feel
do
like that
episode
one's
2
common
on him?
sense.
This is the comments, okay? I did not ask anybody to elaborate on what they sent me. Whatever they sent is what I'm putting out there. If they want to comment, they could go in the comments. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and comment below, okay? Next rule. It's not official until it's on social media. And he said, I said what I said. He should have said that for all the other rules too. That's
Wait,
the rule.
repeat that again?
It's not official until it's on social media. Keep in mind, these are 6 unwritten rules of dating.
Stop.
That's the rule.
Why does it need to be on social media?
I don't know.
Social media is not an indication of your happiness. People put fake stuff on social media to make you think that they're happy. But behind closed doors, you don't know what's going on.
The man said he said what he said.
So I need to go on Facebook
Oh.
and I'm in a relationship with so and so. And that makes it official?
The man said what he said.
I mean, I respect your opinion, but I disagree.
Okay, next rule. Oh, Whitney, you want to comment on that? I know you don't.
I said go to 4.
Oh,
Care and concern goes a long way. Show that you are interested by doing things that you know the other person like. Most people, unless you're dating a psychopath, likes when you show some concern to other people or recognize something about them. I don't know. Just be nice.
I like that rule.
You like that one?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Next one is say what you want to do or don't want to do. Word is bond. He said, if you want to fuck, say that's what you want. If you want a relationship, say that too. Don't lead people on. People don't have time to waste.
Preach.
Whitney?
At this point, I feel like that's the only rule he should have, whoever this person is. I mean, where we at? Like 1 for 5 at this point?
We're
Okay.
at 5 now. Yeah.
Okay, this is the last one. Respect the process. If you want to commit to someone, enjoy the process of respecting their boundaries and make sure that they respect yours. This is a rule found in older generations like 70s, 80s, 90s. And he said that's his $3.69 input on this matter. I guess he gonna put it on my tab. So go ahead, Burke Lover. Just go ahead and bill me.
Okay, good. I was hoping we were done with that.
I do agree with number 5.
Yeah.
Don't waste my time.
Right. I think that one
If-
I really like.
If you want to fuck,
I mean, 5, I feel like 5
We're
was talking
fucking.
about that and trust, but I mean, I
Yeah.
also feel like that's kind of what 2 was. Like, the relationship isn't the relationship until I've made that decision. And so, and I feel like I
Yeah.
said, that one was common sense.
All right.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So Burke Lover, please comment and address the questions. If you don't want to, you don't have to. And this is the final one, and I really felt like when I got this one, it's kind of long, but I really liked it, so I really couldn't chop it up. So I want to thank Manny for sending this. Unwritten rules of modern dating today. I feel like it all depends on which generation you are dating because everyone has a different perspective when it comes to dating and getting to know someone. Nowadays, you really don't know what a person's intentions are, even if you ask. They can tell you one thing today and be something completely different tomorrow. What are your true intentions? Be clear about what you want. I believe honesty plays a big role. If you're honest from the beginning, things will go smoother. Communication is a big one. Traditional versus modern dating. Dating has changed dramatically over time. Back in the day, people meet each other in public places through mutual friends or within their families. They would actually go out on dates, talk about their goals, and have more face-to-face interactions. People took the time to get to know each other and work through issues if problems arise. Nowadays, people meet through dating apps and social media. A true first date is rare because typically by the end of the night, one person is primarily interested in hooking up. Whether you give in or not often depends if you will continue seeing each other. I think Manny just nailed everything in a whole nutshell. He's right.
Well, he mentioned. What was the other one with number 5? Don't waste people's time.
Don't waste people's time. Yeah.
Go with intention. Honesty. If you want a relationship, tell the person you're looking for a relationship. If you want to hook up,
But
just hook up.
Right, and he also said, like in the end, when he said, a true first date is rare because typically at the end of the night, one person is primarily interested in hooking up. So that's why it goes back to say, like, after a first date, that could still be all that person wants is just a hookup and
Yep.
not a second date.
Yep.
So then, how do you date and truly find a genuine person or somebody who's genuinely interested in a relationship? Now that's if you're looking for a relationship,
But so if you're looking at a relationship,
right?
like Cornell said, cut it there and
Leave
let them
them
want it
wanting
more.
Okay. So if you okay, all right. So anybody else have anything? Whitney?
I agree.
I'm saying
He's
it's
a
wild
Gen
for a
Xer.
Gen X person to be like post a relationship on social media or
Social media.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
that's why I
you-
said no. Like,
Yeah, that's a real new, that's a newer age thing. And I'm not gonna lie, it's not like he got hurt. But I'm gonna keep my comment. I gotta need healing. Who hurt you?
But that's what I'm
Seek
saying
help.
is like that's a big no, but that's a red flag. Posting your relationship on social media is not an indication.
Indication of a relationship. It's not an indication. Posting anything on social media is not an indication of anything.
No, social media, I'm posting what I want you to see.
Yeah, with them little cat and the push up face and the Leos and the shade. Yeah, that's what you post. And that's what you want people to see.
I haven't posted
If
thirst
you
traps in
posted
a
something
while.
on social media, you're wanting
I'm very
validation
proud
from
of you
other
for that.
people, and you don't need that validation from other people because if you're in a relationship, you should be getting it from your partner. You don't need
Exactly.
a whole bunch of
Exactly.
strangers that are listed as friends to comment on what the two of you have together.
Right. Yeah, I just think everybody just needs to be honest. I mean, I am very very I think sometimes I'm a little too transparent in exactly what I want. If I know that I do not want a relationship, I let it to be known. If I know that all I'm looking for is a constant hookup, I let that to be known because I don't want anybody leading me on, and I really don't lead anybody else on. That's how you get stalkers. I cut that part out.
Yes, because you literally, oh, this is what I'm talking about. People need healing. You completely target this man.
No, but yeah, that
I mean, yes, you have the point, but I was like, you didn't have to give that example. You didn't have to give
no,
that.
I'm just
So yeah,
like her, though.
so just be honest about what you want. If that's what you want, that's what you want. I am very transparent. If I just want a hookup, I'm ready to be known. I just want a hookup. That's why nobody in the club will come and tell me, "Oh, I want to date you and be your husband." No.
I'm straight up. And I think that's just why I'm single because I'm too blunt. Why are you giving that face? I would tell you if I want to be in a relationship with you
Because you're too blunt.
or want to hook up with you. I'd rather be honest and
Right.
have open communication than
Mislead. Yeah. Because it's not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling when you lead people on. So you need to be honest about what you want. But I think sometimes too, people tend to be like, oh yeah, I really like this person. I want you keep talking, you keep doing things with them, and then somehow, at some point, that all switches for you, and instead of you communicating that to the person whom you've already invested time and energy in, you end up playing games and making them feel bad because you had already led them on, and but you decided that, oh, I don't no longer want this. Instead of just telling them, hey, I thought this was something that I wanted, I thought that we could have built something, you start playing games and moving weird and doing some janky stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like that aspect either. Like, if the person do something or you met somebody else that more sparks your interest, go back and tell the person, hey, I thought this was something that I wanted, but I met somebody. You don't even have to tell them you met somebody else. I thought this was something that I wanted, but I think we need to like kind of fall back. Be honest, but don't go and then move weird and do some weird shit and make the
happen all the time.
Yeah, it does happen all the time, and it drives
Gotten
you crazy.
ghosted. I've gotten flaked. But that's the problem. I don't want to do that to other people. If I'm not interested in that person, I'll tell them straight up, hey, I don't think this is gonna work.
Right.
Because I don't want to mess up with that person's like mindset, because that can really mess you up.
Yeah,
And
that's
you
why
think that it's
that's
your
why people
fault.
that get beat up. I'm not saying I don't beat man. I do not beat man. I don't put my
No,
hand on nobody.
but-
But I'm saying that's why people that get beat up.
Do you start questioning, what did I do wrong? When you didn't do anything wrong. It's just that person was not upfront and honest to tell you that he's no longer interested and he's seeing somebody else.
Right. I would try to flip it and be like, oh, man, you tripping. No, I ain't tripping.
Well, I can see people saying and say, well, you're not in a relationship. They don't owe you a reason and why they're not talking to you anymore.
But but you already invested time and energy. The least they can do is talk to you and tell you, hey, I move on, or I found somebody else, or I am no longer interested.
Yeah.
Just communicate. I don't know why it's so hard for people. I feel like now it's even harder for people to keep it 100 and to communicate. And that's the two, like I said in the beginning, that's my two big thing. Be honest and communicate. Keep it 100.
Well, everybody wants to keep their eggs in
Everybody want to keep their eggs in a hole in
different
600
baskets.
baskets. And eggs are already expensive. And when your egg don't get broke, then what you gonna do? But now your egg would have been fine if you would have just had one egg and you would have just been honest with the first hen, because you're moving on to the next one. Just keep it 100. Now you got the two of them squabbling over you.
What do you think, Whitney?
So, so I mean, of course, I don't know. I mean, I agree. Honesty is the best policy. Honesty is the best policy.
But wait, Whitney, hold on. Just to be clear, when you don't like someone, you tell them that you don't like them, and you block them.
Hey, yeah, is that bad?
No, I don't see wrong with it.
Y'all
'cause
are
I block
quiet.
people.
Is that
Of course he doesn't see anything wrong with it because you do that. I don't do that. I don't block anyone.
So I don't fault you, Whitney, because I block
There's a
people
butt
left and
coming.
right.
But
bad? Okay.
What do you mean butt?
I thought there was a but.
There's no butt in
I
there.
know I did too. Well, like, is there a butt coming?
No. I block people left and right.
I think I would have to see what Whitney says, because I know how Whitney can be with her words, the same way like you. So
That's why I block people.
So I definitely will block you. And there ain't no ifs buts of it. I'm blocking you, cause I know how you could get. Shady and petty, I blocking you. You could say what you want. Yeah, I blocking you. I could see why you have to block the people. So I can get it. So I think it just have to depends on the verbiage that you use. Maybe, I don't know, but like I said, I don't block people. I don't, but I do ignore. Dating is complicated, okay? And that's just the bottom line. Dating is complicated, and you gotta kind of have to figure it out for yourself. Figure out what you want, what you're looking for, and who you want, what you're looking for, and have fun while you do it.
And be safe.
And be
And
safe.
be
yeah.
safe.
Yeah, and that's it. Be safe, have fun while you do it, and just try to figure it out. I mean, and it's gonna change. Like I said, it's gonna change all the time. It's gonna change in your where you at in your life. But then also too, you can meet somebody who you think is just gonna be a hookup, and the next thing you know, 7 months down the line, y'all still sleeping together and still hanging out, and then and then somebody catch feelings, and then you're like, oh man.
7 years down the line, you got 3 kids.
I didn't
a
say
house.
7 years. I said 7 months.
I know.
That was supposed to just be hooking up.
I was just elaborating
And then
on
you
your
look
example.
and you be like, "What? They still here?" And then they catch feelings, and then you're like, damn, I gotta cut this off now." So, I don't know. Just have fun. Be safe.
Just have fun.
All right. Anybody else closing thoughts?
Closing comments. Be honest. Say what you want. Communicate.
I think honesty is the best policy. You're not going to get what you want unless you say what you want. Closed mouth don't get fed.
Period.
Period.
All right, producer, you have anything to say?
Hmm?
You have any closing comments or anything?
What was the second guy name again?
Oh God, are you still with that?
Burke Lover.
Burklover. Get help.
All right, y'all. I want to thank everybody for participating in this great conversation. I had a lot of fun. Thank you all for joining me on here and chopping it up. And for all of you guys that are listening, make sure you like, subscribe, and share. We're going to be on here talking about different topics. I'm sorry. If you want to comment about something that we discuss here, you might agree, might not agree. You can go ahead and leave a comment, or you can just hit me up on the side and tell me what your thoughts are. If you also want to be on here and discuss the variety of topics that we will be discussing on here, you can also just hit me up in the comments, or you can hit me up on the side. And I'm welcoming everybody to come on here and just chop it up with us. We are not gonna all agree on our opinions, but we are just gonna respect each other. Even if it might get a little heated, that's okay too, because that's the whole fun about having these different conversations. So, like, subscribe, and share. The podcast will be uploaded every week with different topics, and we're gonna have some interviews. So, I hope you guys stay safe, date safe, and have a good night. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.